Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Joanne Reese, and you have tuned into the Hemp Show. What an exciting time to be talking about hemp, what's happening on our planet as this incredible plant is becoming legal and becoming more and more mainstream. Not just in the United States, but globally, we are seeing a massive resurgence. And for those who may be turning into today's show for the first time, I want to encourage you to check out prior shows on the podcast. We've been running the show now for about 4.5 months. We've done a number of different interviews with many people who've been in this industry for quite a long time, practitioners. So please tune into prior shows to learn a little bit more. The goal for this show is to start to educate people a little bit about the hemp plant, the different uses of it. We've been focused a lot on the CBD, CBG aspects of learning about the different cannabinoids and the terpenes that are in this plant, learning about what you want to be looking for in a great product, what's really important questions to ask, how do you make sure you're getting something very pure, very potent, and then, of course, how does it help you? Why is it so important that we learn about CBD? Why is it so important that we start to educate ourselves about the endocannabinoid system? And what is that even really? If you haven't had an opportunity to Google it, I really recommend it. Go Google the endocannabinoid system. This is a system of receptors in our body that was discovered over 30 years ago by a researcher in Israel. And it's only being taught about in probably 20% of the medical schools here in the United States. We're not super focused on holistic medicine here, obviously. In the last 100 years, our entire, Western medicine has been very much focused on pharma and diagnosing and prescribing rather than looking at, integrative medicine and more looking into why we're having system breakdown and how do we support the body in a more holistic way. So that's also a big goal of mine with this show is to steer people who don't know about functional medicine, integrative medicine, naturopathic medicine into learning more about how different herbs, specifically hemp, can support you. And I have been working in holistic health for a number of years. I've been working in addiction recovery and educating people about plant medicines and how they help people with trauma, addiction, anxiety, depression, and all of the other things that we need to be doing with regards to building community and exercise, proper nutrition, spiritual growth, yoga, somatic practices, etc., all of the things that make up a healthy life. And in all of the research I've done with so many different things over the last 20 years, I have never, ever seen anything that is as impactful as hemp and CBD and CBG for humans and animals. It is absolutely remarkable what happens when people start taking a really, really great product. The reason why I'm here is because thank God, a friend called me up a couple years ago and said, this is it, Joanne, this is what we've been waiting for. What do you know about CBD? And I didn't know anything at the time, but within, a really, really short period of time, I kind of came up to speed, started learning about this, had a really miraculous experience taking this product. It helped me immensely in a number of days to balance my chemistry and my brain and my hormones, in my mood. And I've been on a mission ever since to share this with people, educate people about it, and to be part of this hemp revolution. So welcome again, and thank you everybody for who's tuning in. I hope you can spread the word about this show. And my goal is that people can learn about this, that they can learn about what are the really important questions to be asking. You do not want to be just walking into a dispensary and thinking that the person behind the counter is going to educate you about the difference between THC and CBD, or what you need to be looking for in a product. Don't expect that you're just going to go walk into Walgreens and buy something great. It's very important to be sourcing properly. And also to have somebody kind of coach you through the process. So I just want to let our listeners know that I'm available for that. You can reach out to me. I'm going to give my phone number right now, so feel free to write it down. It's also on some of the ads on the show. It's 310-678-9712. So you have a personal invitation from me to reach out, ask questions. This is a product that requires a conversation. People have a lot of questions about what's it going to help me with, what's it going to help my kid with, what's it going to help my grandma with, what happens if somebody's taking medication, what happens if they have a history of this, that, or the other. And even though there's a lot of information online, it can be confusing and conflicting, and we still have a lot to learn about this plant. So I'm available to answer it, as well as many of my guests in the past that have shared their information. And speaking of guests, I am really thrilled to have a dear friend of mine today on the call who's going to be sharing her experience with this plant and with this industry. So thank you, Sarah Haywood. I'm so thrilled to have you.
It's really great to be here. Thanks so much.
Yay. So Sarah is a serial entrepreneur. I know she's been involved in many different ventures. In her career, she's an artist. She's a Kundalini yoga teacher. She's a meditation teacher. She is a transformational and wellness coach, an alchemist, a change agent. She studied theta healing and also sound healing. And Sarah, like myself, I think this is why you and I love each other and are so much alignment. We're here to shift consciousness. We're here to cultivate awareness, to inspire creation and art, and bring lasting change to awaken humankind to their infinite potential, to help people open their heart, raise their vibrations, to be an embodied vessel of light, self-love, and radical self-expression. Beautiful. I just came home from Burning Man for a week, which is a lot about radical self-expression, so it's definitely a topic I've been immersed in. She's here to promote peace and balance and harmony and connection and inspire others to step into their power and own their gifts and connect to their highest self and truth and purpose in order to share their unique medicine with the world. And she is a conduit of change and empowering women, helping the feminine rise and reclaim their innate power. Her mission is to positively influence the lives of 1 billion people and wake people up to the fact that we are each a magnificent masterpiece. Wow, beautiful. Wow, I feel inspired just reading your bio. Thank you for joining us today, Sarah, and I'd love to just turn it over to you for a minute and have you tell us a little bit about how did you hear about this and what's been your journey in getting, over the last couple of years, getting where you are.
Yeah, and thanks so much. I just want to acknowledge you, Joanne, for the wealth of knowledge that you are. And if you're listening in to this call, definitely take her up on that offer to connect with her, because she is a beautiful human if you haven't already experienced that just through this call. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, wow, this plant, I feel like I've been woven in with this plant for eons, and it's really one of the first plant allies that really started to communicate with me. I really started to see and feel that, you know, we are one on this planet, and that this plant offered something to us as for humanity and was really here to serve us and really aligned with my purpose on this earth. And so It fell into my lap. I first learned about cannabis when I was about 19. I actually went to jail for it, and it wasn't even in my realm. It was just sort of a fluke. And I remember in that moment, we went to jail over a firework, and they took us to jail for marijuana. And I remember sitting in that jail cell and just knowing, my inner knowing knew there was something way bigger than me at play, and that I needed to pay attention to the fact that I just went to jail for marijuana when I didn't even have any, living in Texas, and my dad was the city attorney. And that was the moment that I really started paying attention to the plant and what it had to offer. And there was this huge stigma around it growing up in Texas. I was seeing my dad actually put people that he knew in jail for it for their whole life. And it was something that had a lot of fear and stigma and negative energy around it for me. And I came to California about 10 years ago. That lifted a little bit. But then it was actually when I went to Oregon exactly 3 years ago, and I saw it growing on the sides of the freeway, and it was this picture of the new earth. I was really seeing how we were shifting from this old paradigm where we were really living in fear-based world, and there was this plant that I could feel in my soul that was really here to help serve us. I was actually seeing it being illuminated for the first time in a place where it was legal. People were using it for other reasons besides getting high, specifically for health, and that's what got me really intrigued. And I just, I honestly just got the download of there's something for you here in hemp, and you need to follow the threads. And essentially that's what I did. And here I am 3 years later, also very passionate about this plant, building a phenomenal business with amazing people, light workers, healers, change agents, people who really want to empower themselves and then help empower other people as we help upshift consciousness on the planet through this amazing plant ally.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I love what you said about your kind of shift around this. And I know that if you're talking with people about hemp, if you're talking with people about CBD, there's still so much misinformation about the difference between hemp and marijuana, about legality. How's it been for you, kind of sharing this with people? You're in Southern California, you're in Topanga Canyon, but I know you've done a lot of traveling around the country and sharing with a lot of different people about this. So I'm just curious, what have you seen over the last 2 years in terms of the climate change and how this is being received by people?
No, yeah, we're in a much better environment right now for people to receive it. When I first started 3 years ago, most of the time I said CBD, the response was CB what? Or, oh, that's illegal, or that's a drug, or we can't have that. And now we're living in a place, because of deregulation that actually happened back in December last year, 2018, the Farm Bill that was passed actually made CBD federally legal, well, with a lower than 0.3% THC, which is classified as industrial hemp. So that's the part of the plant that gets you healthy and not high. So the THC is that component that will give you that psychoactive effect, whereas these other cannabinoids, including CBD and CBG, don't provide that high effect, but really have a way of coming into the body and just bringing anything that's imbalanced back into balance so that the body can really heal itself. So essentially, the government, by making it legal, the media is starting to actually help us, because it was, we joked that it was the bleeding edge the first year that we were building a business in hemp and CBD, because it was a really tough building environment. I'm so grateful to be a part of it, and as a revolutionary and somebody that wants to be on the cutting edge and on the forefront of anything that's happening, I definitely have appreciation for it, and that's why I'm still here today. But it feels like such a better environment for us to be able to share it. People are so much more receptive. They're open. They're starting to understand when they see it on TV shows like Dr. Oz or other mainstream things that, oh, wow, there's actually something to look at here. And, that's what I'm excited about, is people are starting to pay attention that this is something that can really benefit their lives on every single level.
Absolutely. And, you know, I know that in my discussions with people, it's like we're all very programmed, you know. We've all been, whether we realize it or not, we're programmed. And even people who think they don't have negative programming, we do. You know, we have negative programming based on people's comments, people's, you know, whatever our culture is, things that we come up against. So I feel like, you know, a big part of this is like it requires a conversation. And often for most people it requires lots of conversations until people really, really, really start to understand that that this is a plant that we have a lot of history with, right? We have tens of thousands of years of history with. We've seen it be miraculous for many, many, many things. And we had a massive smear campaign here in the United States. This plant was a massive threat to textiles, to plastics, to lumber, to pharma, and it was very intentionally smeared. And hemp and marijuana were put together, even though they both come from the cannabis plant. They were lumped into the same category, and so now we're starting to like shine the light on and to get more clear about what the differences are. And so I'd love to have you speak a little bit to how do you share this with people in terms of when you're having sort of initial conversations with people about what's been your direct experience with working with CBD, how's it helped you, and you know, physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally, spiritually, and what have you seen with people that you've shared it with? What are some of the testimonies that you've heard?
Yeah, I'd love to share that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, every person is different, and that's part of what I love about building this and sharing this and being on the forefront of it is I'm really seeing how we can serve every single person that comes onto our path. So for me, when I sit down with somebody or I see someone struggling or overhear a conversation, I know that there's a gap in their life that needs to be filled. And that's part of what I love about the business that I'm building is this oil, this plant ally, this hemp extract actually has an opportunity and an ability to help fill almost any gap that anybody has. And so when I sit with somebody and they're struggling with brain fog or digestive issues or they have some pain in their shoulder, you know, I ask if they're open to trying what I have and if they're open to it working for them. And, you know, part of what I love about this oil is it's really subtle. I'm speaking to an oil that Joanne and I work with. It's called Recept. And I love the name because it really invites everybody who takes it to just be receptive to the magic that lives inside of that bottle. We joke that it's light in a bottle. I mean, it's not even a joke. It's real. And essentially what it does is it just helps bring your body into balance. So, you know, we don't make any claims. We're a food supplement. However, the magic of this is if you have any levels that are too high in your body or any levels that are too low, what it will do is it will help balance it out. And when the body's balanced, it knows how to heal itself. And this is regulated by something called the endocannabinoid system. And Joanne spoke about Raphael Mechoulam at the beginning of the call, and he's the man who actually discovered this system in 1992. And what the system does is it actually creates our own cannabinoids inside of our body, one of those being called anandamide, which is actually ananda means bliss. It's the only Sanskrit medical term I believe that there is out there. And essentially what our body does is it creates these cannabinoids, anandamide, 2-AG being another one, that allow us to really experience homeostasis. And when we take a hemp extract, especially, you know, one that's really clean and gets into the bloodstream immediately, past the blood-brain barrier, what it does is it helps bring the body into balance, and it also cues this endocannabinoid system to start creating its own cannabinoids. So that's really the magic of it, and that's why it works with so many different things. I personally, over the last 3 years, have had an array of different dis-eases that have come up in my body, and it's helped with everything. You know, I am open to it helping me, and I notice that for a lot of people, if you're open to it supporting you and you're willing to it doing its magic, it really does. And so for me, my brain fog, I used to have digestive issues, which I wasn't even thinking that this was going to address. I had no idea what this oil was going to do at the beginning. Just like Joanne, I had really no idea. I had experienced a few different oils, but none of them did anything for me. And essentially, when I took this oil, within a month, my digestive issues cleared up. And I had been working on my gut health for about 8 years, knowing that my gut is actually my first brain. I knew it was really important to take care of it. I just didn't know how to. And as soon as I let go of it, started taking this oil, everything sort of cleared up. I started having regular bowel movements. I wasn't getting bloated anymore. And I was just finding that my body was working more in harmony. I felt like all of my cells were in communication. I felt like I had come online. So there's different things. I've been in a car accident. I had a concussion. I don't know where I would be without that oil. I had so much of it right after my accident, and I'm so grateful that I got to utilize it as a tool and a resource on my healing path, and I get to continue to share it with other people. So I've seen tremendous things across the board, especially with uplifting mood. You know, with somebody feeling anxious, I just tell them take a little bit of oil, and typically it's within a couple of seconds there's a shift. It takes us out of fight or flight and into rest and restore. Again, that place of homeostasis where the body wants to be, and when it's there, it can do its job, which is to heal itself.
So many things you mentioned I just want to highlight. So I love that you keep mentioning homeostasis and balance, because as a coach, working in, addiction recovery and with people that are, trying to grow spiritually and have more, well-being in their life, it's all about balance, right? How do you balance your self-care with your work and your relationships and, kind of homeostasis with your activities in your life, And again, as within, as without, right? So working with hemp and CBD, CBG, it's helping us to activate this endocannabinoid system. It's helping us to have balance in our bodies. And when we have balance on the inside, we're much more likely to have balance, on the outside. It's just kind of one thing that I really wanted to highlight that you said. And then the second thing that you were talking about was some really specific issues that are really common amongst a lot of people that I know and that you've been dealing with as well. So we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
Relieve your painful joints and muscles. It's easy with Body Therapy. Made with high-quality cannabinoid isolate and wellness botanicals, Body Therapy is a wonderful high-quality industrial-strength non-greasy solve. It helps support relief from deep tissue and muscle tension, minor sprains and injuries, and even helps you recover faster after a workout. You need it, so get it. Body Therapy can be bought at lovinglife.primemybody.com or call or text 310-678-9712.
Women face more challenges today, resulting in more stress, anxiety, and body imbalances. Women need a little more support, and that's where Recept may help. Organically grown and processed with nanosonicated technology, this THC-free hemp product is a great balancing tool. It may aid a woman's hormonal balance from PMS to conception, from pregnancy to menopause. So women, get your calm on. Order Recept today. Just text or call 310-678-9712.
Coach Kev believes everyone is a leader and has a kingdom to build. He wrote Kingdom Business, License to Lead, to give you his secrets to leadership and to learn how to use the 4 pillars and hemp oil to become a committed, passionate leader of your life. Get the book, Kingdom Business, License to Lead by Kevin J. Suber at Amazon.com. You'll be glad you did. So do it now. Kingdom Business at Amazon.com or call 424-645-7823. That's 424-645-7823.
Audiobooks gives you instant access to over 50,000 of the best sellers and hottest book titles in romance, mystery, fiction, and many other genres. Just visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Audiobooks to get started.
Created by nature and proven by science, Recept Hemp Extract is something you've probably never experienced before. This organic, non-THC product not only has CBD, but Recept has the latest and highest CBG content. CBG may aid sleep, pain, digestion, mood, so many things. Get your broad-spectrum Recept today. Call or text 310-678-9712 now, or visit lovinglife.primemybody.com.
You're listening to HealthyLife.net. Millions of listeners know the secret. Now you do too. Positive talk 24 hours a day, every day.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Joanne Reese, and you are with myself and my guest today, Sarah Haywood, on the Hemp Show. We have been talking about the benefits of hemp and CBD and how it helps to maintain balance and homeostasis in the body. And just to recap, Sarah mentioned several things that she personally had really found benefit with this, that I have talked to dozens and dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of people on some of these very specific issues, which is when you're taking a really, really great, high-quality, absorbable, and very pure hemp product, it's going to help your body on so many different levels. So one of the things you mentioned was brain fog. That's not something that I was discussing a ton with people prior to like the last 3 years, but it's something that I've been hearing more and more about, and I think it can be called lots of different things. But one of the most common things that people tell me when they start taking Recept is I have more mental clarity. I just see things more clear. I'm thinking more clearly. I'm not forgetting stuff. I'm less distracted, and I know that if you Google the benefits of CBD or CBG, which is another cannabinoid that we're going to definitely spend some time talking about on today's call, cannabidiol, if you Google the benefits of these things for attention deficit or ADD or ADHD or any of these things that that people are getting so heavily diagnosed for these days, which is basically inability to focus, distracting thoughts, monkey mind. Same thing I would say with what we call like anxiety might also be labeled as just anxiousness in the system, that fight or flight sort of thing. This seems to be one of the number one things that is addressed right away. When your body is not dealing with chronic inflammation and you've shifted out of that fight or flight into the parasympathetic, into the rest, restore, repair, renew, it changes everything, All of a sudden you're present. People say, I just feel present. I feel calm. I feel more grounded. I feel more in my body. I'm less stressed. I'm less worried. This is super common. It's what I hear every single day from people that are, because I'm asking people as I'm sharing stuff with them, what's your experience? So you mentioned that, Sarah, and thank you for that. And then the other thing you mentioned is digestive issues, and we're in an era of massive issues around digestive issues. Gut health has become such a big thing. And your gut health affects your brain health, right? It affects your serotonin and dopamine levels. And when you can't digest food properly because there's toxins, it just impacts everything. So I've also heard from lots of people that their food allergies went away, their digestive issues went away. And what's interesting is the bulk of the cannabinoid receptors, I know for women, it's in the womb. So digestion is a huge piece of what people can help with, and that also goes into like addressing like autoimmune issues. We're seeing a lot of research about the benefits of CBD for autoimmune, and it's important to keep saying over and over that we're not here to diagnose or treat anybody or make medical claims. But I just want to keep encouraging people to do your own research online. Go look up the benefits of CBD for these different issues for any medical issues that you're dealing with, or your family or your friends are dealing with, and just start to continue to educate yourself. And then the last thing you mentioned was a car accident and, trauma with the body, traumatic brain injury. I know I've been reading a lot of information recently about the NFL and the studies that they're doing because they're seeing such miraculous results with athletes working with hemp for injuries, specifically brain injuries. And Sarah, I'd love to have you talk a little bit about CBG, because Recept is very rich in CBG. It's not a common cannabinoid that we're seeing in the major brands that are selling CBD. And I'd love to have you discuss a little bit about CBG, what you've learned in your research on that, and why you feel like that's really distinguishing this product from the others.
Yeah, and I just want to add real quick, part of the beautiful thing about this product is sometimes whenever the product works and we don't have those ailments anymore, we forget that we even had them. So that's actually why I started taking hemp in the first place, was actually because I had ADD, ADHD, and I was on prescription medications for a number of years. And I got really clear that wasn't the path for me. And so part of what it has done for me also is to provide focus and clarity. And it feels like so long ago in my history that I don't even remember that I had that as an issue. But I'd love to touch on CBG, because that's part of what makes this such an amazing focus blend, because it really affects the brain. And again, we don't know if it's cannabigerol or cannabigerol, but what it is it's this precursor of all cannabinoids. It's essentially like the stem cell of the hemp plant. And it has a wealth of benefits, but most importantly being a neuroprotective and a neuroregenerative. So it actually can help the brain regenerate. It can stimulate bone growth, and also it's that main factor that helps with the focus. So what's really exciting about it is, when you have the stem cell of something, that precursor, it essentially has all of the compounds that anything else does. So that's part of why having CBG in our product really allows us not to have THC, because THC actually comes from CBG. And with the CBD together combined, they create something called the entourage effect, which really allows it to work really synergistically with the body, and really, like that I was talking about earlier, coming online, you really feel like your cells are working together. Everything just comes back into alignment. So the CBG is really great for the brain, and something else that it really helps with is antibacterial properties. It helps serve the gut and the body in a number of ways.
Beautiful. And I love that you mentioned about having, getting a diagnosis for something, having an experience with the pharmaceuticals that was recommended to you, probably getting some relief, but then dealing with negative side effects or just seeing that this is going on year after year after year, and it's not the way I want to be rolling.
Absolutely.
And there's so many people like that. There's so many people like that. And there's so many people whose kids are going through things. I think, children being diagnosed with anxiety or ADD is very common. And in my research in addiction recovery, what I found is that 50% of the kids that are prescribed are going to have addiction issues later on in life. And so, from a parent perspective, what a great thing to educate yourself about holistic things, especially something now that's legal, that's good for you, that your body naturally produces, that has no negative side effects whatsoever, and that helps with hundreds of different things, right? What a much better option for our kids, whether they're 5 years old, whether they're dealing with, being on the spectrum or some sort of other, diagnosis, kind of whatever it is, why not try a holistic option as an alternative to the pharmaceuticals. And I know so many people are looking for that, and that's really been a big mission of mine. My background is in addiction recovery. I've done addiction recovery for 20-plus years. And I'm frankly horrified to see how many people that I know that are in recovery that are all struggling still with different diagnoses and prescriptions. What happens a lot with people is they try this drug, and then it doesn't work, and so then they add this one, and then they add this one, and then they add this one, and now they're on 4 different medications. And here's the harsh reality. There's no studies that show how all those medications contraindicate with each other. You know what I mean? And they're saying a lot now that dementia is really contributed to from, people being over-medicated and the contraindications of that. So I'm very, very interested in, sharing this as an alternative for people that want to reduce or get off things. And again, please reach out to me if you have specific questions about this. My personal cell phone, 310-678-9712. I'm available to chat with you about that. And we'll be back after this short break.
Nitric oxide plus hemp-infused skin rejuvenation serum flush impurities and deliver antioxidant-rich CBD and vitamin C and E directly into the dermis. Nox is the world's only hemp-infused nitric oxide skin rejuvenation system that uses progressive technology to help your skin naturally purify and revive itself. It softens your complexion and enhances skin tone. Get Nox today at lovinglife.primemybody.com or call or text 310-678-9712.
Women face more challenges today, resulting in more stress, anxiety, and body imbalances. Women need a little more support, and that's where Recept may help. Organically grown and processed with nanosonicated technology, this THC-free hemp product is a great balancing tool. It may aid a woman's hormonal balance from PMS to conception, from pregnancy to menopause. So women, get your calm on. Order Recept today. Just text or call 310-678-9712.
Created by nature and proven by science, Recept Hemp Extract is something you've probably never experienced before. This organic, non-THC product not only has CBD, but Recept has the latest and highest CBG content. CBG may aid sleep, pain, digestion, mood, so many things. Get your broad-spectrum Recept today. Call or text 310-678-9712 now, or visit lovinglife.primemybody.com.
Constant Contact and your small business make a perfect fit for marketing. They give you what you need to succeed. Fast and easy email marketing at your fingertips. Visit the healthylife.net advertiser page and click on Constant Contact to start your marketing.
Humans aren't the only ones that can benefit from hemp. Animals can too. Hemp Health for Pets was specially formulated for dogs and cats. Safe and effective, your pets can feel balanced in body and mind with Prime My Pet Hemp and Health Blend. It has organic CBD and yucca, hawthorn, fish oil, and red algae, making Hemp and Health Blend perfect to aid your pet's inflammation, skin conditions, joints, and more. Get yours today. Just text or call 310-678-9712. That's 310-678-9712.
Eclectic talk with a positive twist. HealthyLife.net.
Thanks so much for joining us today. This is Joanne Reese and The Hemp Show. If you're just tuning in, please feel free to check out our on-demand podcast page so that you can hear the beginning of this interview. My guest today, Sarah Haywood, hemp entrepreneur and wellness coach who's been involved in teaching Kundalini yoga, doing sound healings, and a lot of coaching and mentoring work on a number of different wellness platforms. And like myself, Sarah got a phone call from a friend a couple years ago who said, what do you know about CBD? And the journey started. First, our own personal deep healing experiences, seeing symptoms that were, in my case, pretty catastrophic, crying and freaking out and feeling really overwhelmed and I kind of felt like my perimenopausal experience was a demon moved into my brain and talked smack to me all day long and kind of erased my identity, and I forgot who I was for 6 months. And I was terrified. I had never felt so out of balance, off kilter, and scared, really. I never would use the word, like, panic attack. That's not really in my realm of descriptions, but I can go back and say, like, I felt panicky all the time. I felt panicky feelings. I felt scared. I knew something was off, but I didn't quite know what it was. And it was actually my mom who said, like, this is hormones, Joanne, go do some exploration, find something holistic. She knows I don't really do the traditional stuff. And 2 days later, I got a call from my girlfriend who said, what do you know about CBD? And thank God I was in the crisis I was in, because I don't know that I would have jumped on board. And I'm kind of a purist, and I don't like to take stuff. But I was desperate and open and also praying for a new opportunity. And I got exposed to something that helped me in a matter of days, helped me to feel like myself again, helped me to feel balanced, helped me to feel peace on the inside. And then I frantically started sharing it with people and sharing it with people, and it turned into, a business and a way that I could be of service. And then somebody recommended me to do this radio show. So many doors have opened up around this and learning about this plant. And I've made so many incredible friends, Sarah being one of them. And before we started the interview, Sarah, you mentioned to me that you see hemp as a bridge, as a connector. I'd love to have you share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I really believe that all the plants that are here on the planet are really a bridge for us to connect to the earth and to this big rock that we're spinning on through space on. And it's really exciting to be a part of something that really I can see the bridge. I can see that when people take this oil, they feel more connected, not only to themselves, but also the planet. And I like to do hikes with this oil. I like to commune and do circles in nature. And it's amazing to hear how many people see the trees in a new way after taking this oil, or can pick up dirt and feel connected to it. And I feel we live in a time that we're all so disconnected, not only from ourselves and each other, but especially the planet. And so I really see it as this bridge to help us remember this is actually, what we came from. We are, I believe, extensions of the earth, and grateful enough to have legs, unlike trees that are stationary in one spot. But, I really feel like we are just a part of the earth, an embodiment of earth. And what this has really allowed me to do is connect deeper to nature, to connect deeper to other people, and more importantly, myself. So for me, it's been a huge bridge, and I'm so grateful to help use this as a gap to, or use this to fill the gap for so many people and help them build a bridge to whatever it is that they're wanting, whether it's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or even financially. So for me, I'm grateful that I have it as an ally and that it serves as a connector versus a disconnector.
Fantastic. I love that. And you're talking about filling the gap, and that there's a gap, and what the visual I was getting was like, people are stuck. We all get stuck at different times in our life. We get stuck with belief systems. You mentioned in the beginning of the show asking people, are you open to learning about this, and are you willing to have this help you, which I think is beautiful. I'm going to steal that and start using it. And I think that's good for everything, whether somebody's going to try a meditation class, they're going to try a yoga class, they're going to go to an AA meeting, they're going to try modern dance, whatever the thing is. It's like, are you willing to have, they're going to go to Burning Man, are you willing to have this thing, this experience, this community, this practice transform you, and ultimately help you get back into the flow, right? Because we get stuck. we get clogged. What's amazing to me is, as somebody who's done 25 years of coaching work and mentoring work, so we have these belief systems, we have these habits, we have these behaviors, and we often feel like I'm not where I want to be, and sometimes people have a really hard time changing their food. They have a hard time changing their exercise or letting go of, behaviors or relationships or whatever. And what amazed me the most about when somebody starts taking Recept, and again, I just want to mention that CBD in general is phenomenal. If you're taking a hemp product, fantastic. There's a very big variety amongst quality of products, and I'll let you comment on this in a minute, Sarah, but I know that there's a very big variety amongst quality of product. It's easy to, there's a lot of product that is not absorbable. Your body can't absorb it. Molecules are too big. You're only going to absorb maybe 5 to 7%, and there's a lot of product out there that has a lot of toxins in it. So it's important for me to recommend a brand that is super pure, super potent. This particular brand has nanoparticles that are liposomal delivery, which basically means you put it in your mouth and it absorbs in 35 milliseconds, and it's almost 100% absorbable. So that's a big deal. There's no toxins in it. It's third-party tested. You can verify on the certificate of analysis that it's got CBD, CBG, 7 terpenes. It's phenomenal. So that when I've seen what I've seen happen is people start taking this, and all of a sudden they're like, I went for a 4-mile walk today. I haven't done that in 5 years. My desire for alcohol went away. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I used to smoke weed all day, every day. I don't have a desire for it anymore. I quit eating processed food or whatever. It's like all of a sudden this higher level of intelligence to what we need to do to actually take care of ourselves seems to get activated. And I think this is kind of what you're referring to. You were talking about, spending more time in nature. It's like all of a sudden I know what to do. And I'm more empowered to do it because I put this plant into my body, and my body is sitting here with receptor sites ready to receive it, and all of a sudden so much more is possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what other things have you heard from people? I know that you're a top leader in this company. I've had an opportunity to be on stage with you a number of times. You're an amazing trainer for helping people with their business. I definitely want to hear a little bit about your experience in building a business, building a distribution team globally. And I'd love to hear also you talk about how you've seen this help people that you care deeply about, people that you've seen struggle. So take 60 seconds, and then we'll take a break and come back and talk more.
Yeah, I feel like this is really building a business has been absolutely phenomenal. Part of what my mission here to do is just bring people together and help us shifting from this old Piscean age into this new Aquarian age. And that's what I'm really excited about. So we'll touch on that whenever we come back from the break.
Relieve your painful joints and muscles. It's easy with Body Therapy. Made with high-quality cannabinoid isolate and wellness botanicals, Body Therapy is a wonderful high-quality industrial-strength non-greasy solve. It helps support relief from deep tissue and muscle tension, minor sprains and injuries, and even helps you recover faster after a workout. You need it, so get it. Body Therapy can be bought at lovinglife.primemybody.com or call or text 310-678-9712.
Women face more challenges today, resulting in more stress, anxiety, and body imbalances. Women need a little more support, and that's where Recept may help. Organically grown and processed with nanosonicated technology, this THC-free hemp product is a great balancing tool. It may aid a woman's hormonal balance from PMS to conception, from pregnancy to menopause. So women, get your calm on. Order Recept today. Just text or call 310-678-9712.
Humans aren't the only ones that can benefit from hemp. Animals can too. Hemp Health for Pets was specially formulated for dogs and cats. Safe and effective, your pets can feel balanced in body and mind with Prime My Pet Hemp and Health Blend. It has organic CBD and yucca, hawthorn, fish oil, and red algae, making Hemp and Health Blend perfect to aid your pets' inflammation, skin conditions, joints, and more. Get yours today. Just text or call 310-678-9712. That's 310-678-9712.
For the best in business class travel, count on Cheapo Air. Cheapo Air has the best price guarantee, 24/7 customer service, and easy booking online or by phone. To experience your hassle-free journey, start by going to HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Cheapo Air.
Created by nature and proven by science, Recept Hemp Extract is something you've probably never experienced before. This organic, non-THC product not only has CBD, but Recept has the latest and highest CBG content. CBG may aid sleep, pain, digestion, mood, so many things. Get your broad-spectrum Recept today. Call or text 310-678-9712 now, or visit lovinglife.primemybody.com.
You're listening to HealthyLife.net. Millions of listeners know the secret. Now you do too. Positive talk 24 hours a day, every day.
Here we are with Sarah Haywood. Take it away, Sarah.
Part of what we've experienced over the last couple of years is this big shift from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age, and really moving away from how can I survive, what can I build, and all of these structures, particularly government, businesses, all of these things that don't seem to be working anymore. So we're shifting now into this new paradigm where it's really about we. How can we work together? How can we leverage each other's gifts and our medicines in the world and come together and create something bigger than ourselves? Because the power of 2 combined is far greater than the power of 1, and the power of 10 is exponential. So what I love about this business and what I'm creating is not only a distribution for hemp extract, but it's really a global team of like-minded people who all have different core competencies and gifts that are here to share those. So what I'm really doing is I'm collecting influencers. I'm collecting people who have been cultivating gifts and really want to help the planet in a bigger way. So part of what I do is I go out and I find people, or I've already found people over the last 10 years of my life. I feel like I've been weaving this tribe together, and I bring this offering to them, this gift, and say, would you like to build a business with me? Do you want to partner up and help take this brand around the world? Because essentially that's what we're doing. We're creating the global name brand of hemp. Nobody's done that yet, and that's part of why Joanne and I are here. We're really excited and we're really passionate about educating people, again, about the right products, making sure that they're clean, that they're sustainable, that they're third-party tested, that they don't have any toxins, pesticides, molds, because really that's what hemp does. It pulls, it's a remediation plant, so it pulls toxins from the soil. So for those of you, again, who don't know about how hemp works and the products that you're using, just double check to make sure that they're super clean, because that's part of what we're here educating people about. And that's part of what I do. I find people who want to be on the forefront of that with me, people who want to learn about the benefits of CBD and CBG and how it can help people in their own lives. And so for me, I've really seen transformations across the board. Again, we've touched on how it can help emotionally and physically, mentally. But really one of the examples that I have in my life is a beautiful woman who came here from Serbia, and she's been living in the U.S. for 2 years, and she taught herself English, and she got married and didn't really have many friends, and I introduced this to a friend, and I said, is this for you? And she said, it's not for me, but I know somebody who it is. When this woman came into the business, came to our company conference, got to meet all of the people, the leaders, the community, the affiliates, our team, And she caught the vision, and she got, just like I did, this is why I'm on the planet. This is why I came to America. And to have people who, feel like they're coming across the globe, being called and guided by spirit, to really feel like they're helping to build a global name brand, those are the types of people that I'm working with. And for her, she's now created a whole community of people. She's a leader in San Diego, building a phenomenal business with amazing people in a yoga tribe and a DJ tribe. She's just created all of these different avenues and connections through this oil and opportunity. And again, that's just one example of how it's such a great connector and how it's helping us leverage our time, moving away from working for ourselves, working this 9 to 5, but rather allowing us to commune and community, to be where we want, when we want, with who we want, and to work however we want. And that's part of the freedom that I love about this business. It's the freedom that this provides, but also an opportunity for us to really choose who our business partners are. We get to call people that we love and say, hey, I have a phenomenal gift I'd love to share with you, whether you just use this as a product to help upshift your life or whether you want to join me on the forefront of the hemp revolution and take this around the world. So what's really amazing about it is it can help everybody in some way, shape, or form. And that's another reason that Joanne and I are here, because neither of us have seen anything like this anywhere else with any other product or any other company.
Absolutely beautiful. And, I love what you're talking about having, I definitely feel like I've spent my whole life kind of preparing to be right here, right now. In this particular community, I've been a part of a lot of different amazing communities, recovery community, plant medicine community. I've been a part of homeschool community. I've been a part of many different spiritual communities, all of which have added beautiful, amazing things to my life. But this is something really, really unique in that it seems to address every single area in terms of helping people feel better on a physical level, to really address deep emotional and mental issues, and helping people so much to be supported in well-being. And when your body and your mind and your emotions are being well supported, there's these higher level creativity and intuition that open up. And people I've watched in myself, and I've watched in hundreds and hundreds of other people, where it's like this deep remembering starts to be opening up, where it's like, oh yes, I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to connect with that person, I'm supposed to call this person. And all of a sudden, the vision just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I feel like for those of us who've been on personal development or spiritual journey, who've worked with amazing teachers, who've done, who've had yoga practices or martial arts or, different spiritual practices that we've done, it's like, it's time, right? It's time to step up. It's time for us to come together. And it's definitely time for people to step into greater prosperity. As a single mom, as somebody who worked in addiction recovery for a long time, it's like financial it's been a struggle for me, and also a struggle to have enough freedom in my schedule that I could really show up for my kids, right? I homeschooled my kids for 10 years. That's kind of the most rewarding, worst paying job ever. And I know a lot of moms who want to, they want to raise their kids. They want to have freedom to, like you said, to travel and to have balance in their life. So I think it's brilliant that that Prime My Body is bringing this to people in terms of an opportunity to build an amazing community, to have a profound experience, to have something incredible to share with other people. And, I just want to say thank you so much. We talked a lot about Recept. We didn't talk anything about some of the other awesome products that we have, a pet product. We have a amazing beauty product, which is nitric oxide combined with CBD for skin and fine lines, which I've had a really phenomenal experience with. But we're here to love and support people that want to learn about this, so please reach out if you have questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here. I so appreciate everything that you brought today.